have any questions for us.
So I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but Starbucks introduced what they call a Pike Place roast, which I liken to a new Coke type thing. Remember about gas and new Coke? I don't know what impact that has had in terms of Starbucks. Did that come up at all in your research? It wasn't a good roast in my opinion. Because it was like what they tried to do was they tried to take it from that deep roast to more of a public or like a sort of mid-lean.
I think it was somewhat nostalgic for them.
They try to appeal
go
to
back to the
the
Seattle roots.
masses rather than specific.
They named it that, but it wasn't their roots. That was what was interesting there, the history on it. They made it a lighter coffee. That kind of stuff.
So it wasn't the original?
No,
The
it
actual
wasn't.
roast came up, but not the...
Yeah, they named it the original. They named it after that. Did that didn't
Was
it
it
on
the
the
same?
same?
Not that.
Okay. I was just curious how if the product had an issue with the downturn in the stock.
Marcia?
Who did you partner at Starbucks to get some of your information? Or did you
I'm sorry?
partner? Did you partner with someone at Starbucks to get some of your information?
No, we do not.
Okay.
A lot of research.
Can you tell me how to make a soy chai? If I could figure that out, I would never have to go to Starbucks again.
Okay.
Company secrets, company trade secrets.
We'll sidebar.
All right.
I have another question for Anthony. I was wondering, where did you get the statistics that you presented about the demographics? You had said that they traditionally had targeted the upper or the middle class and the adult.
Some of it, I have some notes on that. I think most of the demographic material came from Restaurant News, which was available through the college's databases. They talk quite a bit about the demographics, the Hispanic market. I did go to Hispanic, there's a Hispanic newsletter that was talking about what Starbucks is doing. So industry publications, I would say, for the most part.
I was thinking back to the values of the concern for people and kind of that internal, and knowing that even with the businesses that are restructuring, there's a lot of positions. Do you know? Do you guys come across like any blogs or any kind of editorials or anything like that with regards to? Is that still something that the current employees that are remaining see, and with the transition that they're still maybe positive and they believe that, or is it kind of been? What do you think? I don't know. Did you guys come across anything in the research that would negate their value?
So I'm not quite clear in the question. You're saying are they still following their value of their team members?
Yeah, well, more or less, sometimes we come across like blogs or just different websites that post comments that are usually employee ran or something like that, or editorials, and they say, oh, the company says this, but I really think this. Mm-hmm. Did you guys come across anything like
We
that?
hate Starbucks.org or
right,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I mean, there's lots of stuff out
The
there.
only thing that I did run across was, since it's become so much more cookie cutter, is there are some, I don't want to use the word anti-capitalist, but the people that compared them to Walmart, that we're running them down,
Sure.
although they can't be all things to all people. So I think that was really the only negative out there. There were some people that had some harsh criticism
Right.
In some areas. I think people said, and I think Starbucks recognizes that the fact that they did go to away from their core or try and court the non-core customer was a great strength, also a great weakness. As the economy weakened, that proved to be very much one of the
The other thing to add on this one is also getting their coffee, especially in South America. And some of underage kids, in the agriculture, they don't know where the coffee comes from.
Right.
As long as they get it from the coyote, they don't care before. Now they start getting involved, which means the coyote needs the middleman. So now they start getting involved, touching the community, go to the farmers, and helping them knowing, so the farmers will have the exact dollar amounts, the value of the dollar,
Sure.
the coffee. So that's one of the areas they improve on.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it happened to Africa. They go to the land, at the same time also they go to the farmers every year, give fertilizer, educating the farmers and give them equipment. So they don't just buy it from investors, they go to the community and see where the coffee is.
One of the books that I researched from was called Fair Trade. And it was, full title, it was about fair trade coffee and the entire subject. And that Starbucks in the late 90s, recognized that, it's probably business vulnerability, much as, Nike took a lot of heat for Indonesian sweatshops. And, took measures to address that from a socially responsible, from their socially responsible viewpoint. So,
Thank you.
I have a question.
One more question.
I have a question. Starbucks has recently gotten some bad publicity regarding them leaving their faucets running consistently in all of their stores. What do you think that's done to their reputation as being a green company?
well, from somebody that works in that industry, you have to. And then you have to, if you're going to have a utensil, it has to be running water. You will get a health code violation. So, I think maybe, if that's an issue, then they maybe could communicate that. But they don't have a choice. You see in the ice cream parlors, they put that ice cream scoop in stagnant water.
I think they've actually changed it where they have to shut it off now. They really turn it on and off. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear from our panel.
You want me to start? Okay. Well, overall, I thought that you guys did a very nice job. It seems like you did plenty of research that was available out there for Starbucks, and then throwing all together with a presentation. So thank you for that. I learned a little bit more than what I would know about Starbucks. Good, behaviorally, good eye contact. Most of you, thank you. And I did appreciate, as well as not see, it didn't seem like, to me at least, most of the PowerPoint presentation, you guys, sometimes PowerPoints guide people instead of people guiding the PowerPoint, and I think you guys did a good job of guiding the PowerPoint and using it as a tool rather than like the tool utilized you guys in your material, so thank you for that. One thing I did know that was kind of glaring throughout the presentation was maybe try to do less reliance on printed materials or note cards. It seemed very, in my opinion, as an audience member, distracting, and it also, in my opinion, kind of chipped away at some credibility of whether you guys really were, the research you had, if you really knew a lot of the material. So try next time to maybe just not do as much. It's kind of challenging, but I think it can be done.
Good presentation. I thought that most of you were very invested in it. I'd like some of you to tell a story about your portion of the presentation. Something like hearing about Ethiopia, and like personal interests. I think of it as the Reader's Digest way of telling compelling issues. And I thought it was a particularly strong close.
Great presentation. So a couple things. First of all, it was really good way to start with the history that I thought set the foundation, so that was good read in. There was some use of humor, the author's name, a couple of other things. And that's really good. That always lights up and I think engages the audience. The rest of that was well done. And you were fairly hard in a presentation, so that was done very well. Well organized, you're doing some great research, particularly when you brought in the statistics. I thought that was very compelling when you brought in those statistics. The one area that I thought could be improved was, several of you did this. You did a lot of swaying with your body language. It might have been nervous but you kept going back and forth and move your legs and stuff like that. It's very distracting.
I just want to be in the camera.
There's just something to think about, and one of the things that I learned from presentations is if you are going to move, be very deliberate. Like move, so on. Don't just
Or use it with a
Great job.
point. If you're going to drive a point, use that body language to your advantage to emphasize the point you're talking about.
But well done, very well done.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Nice job.